Welcome to Slice of Sci-Fi TV. I'm Noah Richmond, and I'm here today to interview Rebekah McKendry.
Yes, hi. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you guys so much for coming by the Fango booth.
And thank you. So Fangoria is certainly something that I grew up reading. I think a lot of people can say that they did. What would you say your involvement is with Fangoria right now?
I am the director of marketing, which means I kind of move across all the areas. I work a lot with editorial. I work a lot with how the magazine gets designed, what companies we work with. I coordinate the ads that go into it. So I love my job because I get to do a little bit of everything.
Now, is Fangoria Radio still active?
No, Fango Radio, I guess we stopped that probably about 4 to 5 years ago. But that's actually where I started. I started out as an intern on the radio show almost 12 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I have to say that something that really caught me about your bio is you are a professor, and it sounds like you are professor of horror movies and cult exploitation films. Am I correct?
I am. I'm in the process of completing my PhD right now, but I've been teaching at the collegiate level for about 6 years now. So I moonlight as a college professor. And though I do film and television classes kind of across the board in film theory, what I specialize in is horror, exploitation, and porn.
I guess one thing that I tend to think of Fangoria is it's very horror oriented, but it's also very industry oriented. I don't usually think of it as the go-to place for maybe some of the more underground cult films that came out in the 1970s. Do you find that working for Fangoria is really giving you a lot of exposure to interesting, unusual titles that people would not have heard of?
It does, actually. Even though that a lot of what we end up covering in the magazine, we try to do a mix. We try to do some of the major films coming out by the studios. We'll cover the Godzillas, but then at the same time, we try to always flash back to some of the weird, older stuff that make people go, oh my God, I remember that film. And then we also have our sister magazine, Gore Zone. And Gore Zone is definitely our more independent, our underground, our kind of naughty little sister magazine. And that's where we get to explore some of the really weird stuff I love.
Cool. What would you say is looking to be the future for Fangoria right now? What is Fangoria? What direction is it heading with? What kind of projects have you been working on with it?
Well, Fango has a lot going on right now. I'm really fortunate to kind of work here while we're kind of coming up with all of these new ventures that we're doing. One of the ones that I'm most excited about is Fangoria Junior, and that's going to be coming this fall, and it is Fangoria for kids around 6 to 12 years old. And we're launching this one because a lot of the staff has kids, and we realized how drawn our kids are to some of the lighter sides of horror. I mean, all kids love Frankenstein and ghost stories and things like that. And additionally, all of us were monster kids. All of us were 7-year-olds running around pretending to be Freddy and kicking Jason's ass and things like that. So for us, this seems like a logical move to kind of cater towards what we were and what we see in our current kids.
Wow, fascinating. As far as your academic work goes, I understand you're also a published author in terms of the research you've done. Could you say a little bit about your own writing that you've done, about your own research?
Yeah. Well, most of my research has been kind of in the area of exploitation or video nasty films. So I've got some works out on Herschel Gordon Lewis. I've done a lot of work into various porn authors and filmmakers. You can also find a bunch of stuff on Doris Wishman that I've done. She was one of the first female filmmakers, but she also did a lot of what they were either roughies or nudie cuties, where people kind of get naked and beat each other up. But they were awesome in my mind, so yeah.
If anybody wants to follow along with, follow your works to see what it is that you've been up to, how do they keep up with you?
You can find me on Facebook under Rebekah McKendry. I have 3 different accounts, so you may choose which one looks the best. You can find me on Twitter also under Rebekah McKendry, and definitely follow Fangoria and Gore Zone as well. Anything I'm doing, you can also see there too. Plus, you got to keep up with all the great stuff we have going on at Fangoria.
Excellent. Any other parting information that you want to share about what's going on with Fangoria besides Fango Junior?
Fango is here, and we love what we're doing, and we love our fans, and want to thank them all for the support, and Phoenix Comic Con rocks.